Thank you.
All right, appreciate everybody joining. Obviously, very proud of our football team. Just continuing to find ways to win. Tough place to go play at Navy, senior night, all of those things. You know, I think it's already been public. I mean, they hadn't lost a senior night in 17 years or something to that nature. But our guys just continue to stay focused, stay resilient. They keep coming together, and I'm just overwhelmed by how they continue to keep answering the bell when it comes to that. Our coaches have done a great job, and you know, it's been a special year, and it's not over yet. We get the opportunity to go play for a championship. That was one of our goals at the first of the year. We checked off a lot of boxes the other night with that win at Navy. So I'm excited for our guys and the way they prepared and put themselves in a position to have an opportunity to go play for a championship, and we have that facing us now. Obviously, you know, with the announcement this morning, was obviously excited about Cincinnati having to come here and us getting the opportunity to play here in Tulsa in front of our fans. You know, that opportunity now, it's not going to happen. But, you know, our guys have earned everything to this point. They're going to continue to keep earning it. They're going to continue to keep fighting the way we always have. And, you know, had to break the news to them this morning. But, you know, our guys, again, this is not something new for them. This has been our year. Change has been the common factor, if you will, to our season. And so they understand, and now we just got to prepare ourselves to go up and get it done. So with that, I'll start taking questions.
What's the most disappointing aspect of that? You know, I mean, kids lose a senior day, which, I mean, that seems like a pretty big deal. This would have been, if you're looking at the rankings and everything, maybe like the most meaningful game Chapman Stadium has hosted. It's a really, really good team. You'd rather have them on your home field. What's kind of the most disappointing part of this for you today?
Can I just say all of the above and check that box? I mean, obviously the senior night part of it is kind of devastating in my mind. I mean, if there's every group of seniors deserves a senior night, and for us not to have the opportunity to do that, that's tough. We're going to figure out a way to have some type of senior night for our guys. They deserve every bit of that. You know, we just kind of have to. Obviously, we got this information just recently, so we got to work through some ideas and plans to make that happen. But we're going to figure out something to make sure these guys understand how appreciated they are, how much love the university, this program, our city has for them, and what they've been able to accomplish here in their stint here at the university. And you know, so that's extremely high on the list. You know, like you said, 2 ranked teams playing at home in Tulsa. You know, it's going to be a big televised game. We get to highlight our university, our program, our city, all of that. You know, you lose that opportunity. That's tough. That's disheartening, I guess, if I could use that word. And then, you know, obviously, if you look at their record, the majority, they played a ton of games at home. They've only played 2 games on the road. So just making them having to travel and play another game on the road, you know, I think that adds to, you know, our advantage, if you will. So us getting to be at home, them having to travel, we lose that aspect of it. And so I would say check all those boxes.
Obviously, you mentioned, I mean, this is not the first time that you guys have had to deal with something like this, but each time, is it a cumulative effect on, I guess, the frustration level each time something happens, and culminating in this, which is, you know, the biggest loss of them all of the game so far this season?
Yeah, you know, I think being that this one was announced earlier, I think our guys handled it a little bit better on the call today than what they have in some of the other ones. Obviously disappointed and frustrated, yet I think, you know, it wasn't Thursday. You know, so, you know, mentally you were preparing all week. And when you get to Thursday, you're kind of like, we've done all the prep, we've done all of this, and now all of a sudden they pull the rug out. At least it's early enough in the week where mentally, we can adjust our practice schedule. We can adjust some things and try to really help our guys kind of manage through it, because, we start finals this week. And as you know, finals around here are no joke. And so at least we're being able to prepare and plan from that standpoint.
Can you kind of take us through when you told them how they reacted?
Well, it was early. So, they were in good spirits, obviously getting on the call. I think our guys, because of what they've been through all year long, when you see a Zoom call from us at 8:30 this morning, they already knew what was going on, right? There's no surprise to that call. I mean, I'm not doing a Zoom call at 8:30 on any day for them. So they knew what was happening. Obviously disappointed and frustrated, but this has kind of been our mode, if you will, for the season and the way it's gone.
It being this early in the week, would you have be open at all to rescheduling a different opponent?
At this stage, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. I mean, as you look at it from our standpoint, right, to what purpose are you gaining from it? And, if anything else, we played a very physical game the other night, and it gives us at least a chance for guys to bounce back, get healthier, and, prepare ourselves the best we can for the championship game and obviously extremely tough opponent.
Philip, you probably, were prepared to some extent, like you are with every game, that there's a chance for it not to be played. But when you, realize that you don't have a chance to get that game next week at home, did you feel like there was any way the conference would reconsider the policy to have, the higher ranked team be able to host next week?
I was hoping we would take that into consideration. Obviously we didn't. This is the second time we've had to reschedule on their behalf. So I was hoping maybe we would get that. If nothing else, let's flip for it, right? Or something to that nature. I mean, let's just don't throw our hands up and say, well, this is what we said, back in July or August, So, I was for, at a minimum, let's flip for it and see what happens. But I understand the policy. Obviously, we're going to abide by the policy. And our guys, you looked at the first of the year and where we were picked and all of that. I mean, our guys have been fighting uphill for a long time. So this ain't nothing new for our guys and our staff.
So the coin flip suggestion was shut down.
I wasn't involved in that conversation. So those are just I threw a lot of suggestions out there. I'll just say that. And I don't know that I need to go much further than that before I get myself in too much trouble. I'll let y'all do all of that. Y'all have been doing great, by the way.
We appreciate that. You ever been involved in one of those coin flips at a Texas gas station back in your high school days?
They're
not so bad.
I know the Friday Night Light flip.
Yeah.
It kind of has progressed a little bit more since then. So been involved in some of the flips, but not many of them were at the gas station or at the shop.
Yeah.
We've done a few on sidelines and we've done a few via phone and the way you have to do that. But I'd be all for
it. So just playing off some of what you just said, that hashtag, I guess, Tulsa versus everybody, or maybe you guys have put that on shirts. Where did that start? Just that mentality, I suppose, because I think that is since you showed up.
We actually started that back in 2016, and I got myself in trouble on that one too, so I need to be careful. But we started it back in 2016, and with the 2016 season with some of the things, and I think our guys understand what we got to do and how we got to take care of business. And for us, we've been trying to continue to gain respect for our university and for our program and honestly for, the city at large, and try to be a bright spot and a beacon of what we can really do as a city when we all come together.
Yeah. So my question, within that, it's kind of no matter what anybody throws at us or thinks of us, we're going to do our job, do our best. Do you think this team sort of embodies that more than any you've had?
Absolutely. I mean, they've taken on, because again, let's just write it down as, the 2020 season and all the different obstacles that you've had to overcome just to play the game. And then when you look at it from a scheduling standpoint and all the things that these guys have gone through and how resilient they've been through all of that. And, you take that part of it, and then you also take how resilient they've played. You fall behind and you fight your way back. And just, I think this group absolutely 100% kind of represents all of that.
Coach, is there maybe not to be, puppies and rainbows or anything, but is there maybe a silver lining? Now you get more time to prepare for the actual championship game rather than playing them twice in 2 weeks. Is there maybe a good thing about that at all?
Well, we're obviously going to spin it that way, right? We get a chance to heal up a little bit more after a really physical game. They've obviously been dealing with issues, yet, haven't played a game since, their Central Florida game. So they're going to be as fresh as I guess you could be. It gives us a chance to get a little bit fresher. Obviously, their coaches have been preparing and game planning for us for several weeks. At least we'll get an opportunity to get a little bit more time and preparing our team in the same way.
Coach, how does the motivation play out in this one? Going off of kind of what Caden said, I mean, how amped up, I guess, are the guys going to be knowing, okay, we didn't get a senior night, now we got to go back on the road again, but we've been road warriors for the whole thing?
Yeah, and this group really has been. I mean, they've played extremely well on the road. I think our guys understand that at the first of the year, if we said, hey, we're going to get an opportunity to go play for a championship, but we're going to have to go to Cincinnati to do that, they'd have said, let's roll. So, I think we've got to look at it that way. I think our guys will be motivated. They were extremely excited, obviously, after the win the other night. It's a huge win for us on the road versus Navy. But also you put in the caveat of that also gets us into the championship. And, those guys, they're locked in and focused about bringing a championship back home.
I know.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Nathan.
Obviously, I mean, playing Cincinnati again, a team that couldn't play this week because of COVID. How much worry is there that you won't be able to play this championship game coming up?
I don't really have a good answer for that, Nathan. I mean, for everything that I have been told up to this point, I think they are in much better shape now than what they have been in. And I think they're on the back end of getting over all of this. So hopefully we both stay good and, we're able to play a week from or on the 19th.
And with it already pushed back to the 19th and then bowl games and New Year's, all, is there any wiggle room for a postponement at all, or is it 19th or bust? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know that. I would venture to say it would have to be played pretty quick in a matter of a couple of days. I don't think you're going to get a whole nother week out of that. So I haven't heard anything from the conference or from our administration on that side of it. So I don't really have a really good answer for you there.
Coach, normally you'd be on a Tuesday installing Cincinnati and getting ready for the game. And now you're still playing Cincinnati. So is it less of a pivot? I mean, it's certainly less of a pivot than pivoting from Houston cancellation to Navy. So is that at least something that you can kind of work with?
Yeah, at least we're still generating off of the same opponent. So schematically, we'll continue to keep doing our work. Guys obviously will start studying tape and we'll get back on the practice field soon and get an opportunity to start preparing for them. Again, like I mentioned earlier, we got reading day starting today and tomorrow, and then we start finals on Thursday. And so we've got to work that schedule around, from our practice standpoint, kind of working them around finals and making sure that guys have opportunities to be prepared on both ends of that, for sure.
Coach, as much as we'd love to see Zaven Collins continue to get traction for the Heisman, what about Defensive Player of the Year, which would seem to be a little bit more possible, I guess, is the way I would term that. Do you see that traction being even greater than the Heisman traction?
Well, honestly, I hope for all of our players to have the opportunity to get some postseason awards. I think that's going to be special no matter what those are. Obviously, Allie Green got put on the Thorpe list, I believe yesterday or the day before, which is a great honor for him and excited for that part of it. I know Zaven's on a ton of lists, and we've got other guys that are on several other lists as we work our way through. For our guys to be recognized like that and to just make the list, but also have an opportunity to win those awards, that would be something special, not only for this team, but for, the guys themselves. And I hope that happens as we continue to work our way through.
Coach, I know it's already decided that you will be having to play at Cincinnati, but if you had the crystal ball, should it be a coin flip? Should it be a neutral site? What do you think?
I just think this year brings a lot of different challenges and variables to it when you start talking about COVID and all the things that have gone on. When we made those decisions back early summer, we were still just hoping to play, and that was the thought. I just think this year is probably a special circumstance type year. And I'm not saying that I do not agree with the highest rated team ought to be able to host the championship game. I agree with that. I just think there's other variables involved this year that could maybe, loosen some restraints up maybe on that part of it.
Anything else for Coach?
Coach, how is some of the banged up players, how are they coming along? I know Zaven sat out the second half and some of the other guys. I know you were down to playing your fifth running back and at the end. So how are the guys coming along?
Yeah, obviously those guys have been in the training room. We'll know more as we step back out on the practice field. Right now I really don't have much update on all of those. I feel like we're going to continue to get better. I don't think any of those are terrible type injuries, but who knows? We're working through all of that with our trainers, with our doctors. And again, we were planning on practicing today. We should know more in the next couple of days how those guys are doing and what their availability will be as we approach the championship game.
Okay.
One thing I had before today's news, I wanted to ask you about Coach Gillespie. And, when we think of coordinators, media people, and talk or write about that stuff, usually we're focused on scheme and not so much a guy's ability to teach or build relationships. And it seems to me like that's a big part of what's been so successful for him. Can you maybe speak to that? And I assume that's something that led you to hire him way back when, that relationship building and just the ability to teach on the field, not just the schemes.
Yeah, I think Coach Gillespie, as well as, all of our coaches, and I'll speak more about, defensively, because that's what you're asking the question on. But, as you're looking for coaches to bring within your program, you want to find guys that, have a good fit for the personality that you're wanting throughout your program, for guys that are good family men, that are going to be great teachers, that are going to be able to relate to kids. I think Coach Gillespie does a fantastic job of that. But I think all of our coaches do too. As you look and you continue to build, schematically is one thing, and you want guys that have, brilliant type of a mindset when you're scheming and creating, but also understanding. I can scheme all I want to, but I've got to get guys in the position to make those plays and to be able to have the flexibility within your scheme to adjust as your personnel changes throughout the years. That's a special trait. But I think our coaches have done a really good job of that. I know Coach Gillespie, we've known each other obviously for a long time, but he does an outstanding job of relating to kids, pushing the right buttons when they need to be pushed, pulling back when you need to pull back, being a great teacher. And I think our staff in general does a really good job of that. And I could talk about each and every one of those guys as we went down the road, but obviously, you know, I'm very proud of this staff and this team.
Coach, I think Cincinnati will be 4 weeks since they played a game whenever you guys play on the 19th. Obviously, they get rested up, they get healed up, they get more time to focus on you. But at some point, is it a disadvantage having that much time off? I mean, with rust and what other issues?
Yeah, I hope so, right? I mean, they're playing at a pretty good level right now. So, you know, and I don't really know the circumstances at which they've had to been dealing. You know, I don't know how much practice time they have or haven't had, how much they've had to kind of shut down. I mean, obviously, you know, they haven't had the opportunity to step on the field and compete, but I don't know what that means to their practice schedule. So I know from our standpoint, at some point in there, you know, your guys are really, really tired of practicing and they want to play games. And then the speed of the game, there's nothing like that. It's hard to depict that in practice and the level of physicality that you're playing with and all of that. So, you know, we're going to try to take every advantage we can get. There, you know, they ain't giving us many of them, so we're going to try to take every advantage we can get.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank y'all. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.